So with this video, I want to help you understand the meaning of yellow or orange stool. And I'm not going to say that they're caused by yellow or orange foods. So let's get that right out of the way. There are so many people, especially online, talking about, oh, it's just caused by orange or yellow foods. Why is that not true? Well, number one, you could have this issue without consuming yellow or orange foods. And number two, there are tons of people out there that are consuming orange or yellow foods and they have brown stool. And you got that right. Your stool is supposed to look brown. So what's really the issue here? First, I want to give you some kind of theory, or not theory, but what's really happening inside of your digestive system for you to have a better understanding, because maybe there's something that clicks in your mind, some kind of detail. Basically, when you're eating food, then this food goes into your stomach, the stomach acid breaks it down to smaller parts, and then it enters your small intestine. And there are two things being added to it. First of all, from your liver, there's something called bile. And this is a green sort of detergent. It's a kind of liquid. And then your pancreas releases all those enzymes. Now this detergent, bile, is really there for fat digestion. So it basically makes fats kind of able to mix with water, actually so that your enzymes can work. That's kind of the whole story. Now the orange or slightly yellow stool meaning is very similar to the one about like green stool. So the real reason why your stool is kind of looking orange or yellow is usually because your bile is not being properly oxidized. Now note, bile is green. If you're having green stool, then it's very obvious that this could be bile. But when talking about orange or yellow stool, most people do not think about bile, because after all it's green, but you have to understand this bile, this green liquid, is supposed to go from green to brown. And during this process, it could go to a sort of orange and sometimes even slightly yellow. And that's basically the problem here. So when you're pooping out something that's more yellow, orange, then that means your bile has not been properly oxidized. Now enough about the theory. What does that actually mean for the real world? Well, it's usually one of two things or both, which would be indigestion or a gut microbiome problem, or as I said, both of these kind of mixed. And basically when talking about indigestion, I'm really talking about your food passing too fast through your digestive system, or again on the big view, it's something with indigestion and your gut microbiome. Basically inside of your intestines you have all of those microbes on this wall, and part of their job is they're responsible for turning this bile into brown. So that's why your gut microbiome, if it's completely off, if there are the wrong microbes or there are kind of just no microbes for whatever kind of reason, then they cannot turn this bile into brown. Very simple. And the indigestion factor really just is all about your food passing too fast through your digestive system. So if it's just passing through your digestive system, your microbes don't really have the time to oxidize it. Now, how can you really fix that? Well, the point is, for some kind of reason, your microbes might not be working. So it might be worth checking out your gut microbiome in some sort that you're trying to restore it. But in many, many cases for people watching, it's this indigestion factor. And that's usually caused either by supplements or by your food. It's very simple. So today, so many people are taking all these supplements with the complexes, and honestly, most of that is BS, by the way, if you don't know that. Because most people are getting themselves into toxicities, especially with essential nutrients. They're always thinking, well, it's so great to like more nutrients, and like they don't realize they can get a toxicity. And very commonly, when you have a toxicity, let's say you're taking a bunch of zinc, a zinc supplement, you can get orange stool. That's kind of like, you know, on the Bristol stool chart, it might look normal, but it's coming out really fast and it's all orange. Well, basically, your microbes did not have the time to properly oxidize it. It might also be that the zinc that you're having in excess is starting to destroy some of your microbes in your small intestine. It's usually very simple. Or the other reason could be you're just eating some kind of food that you do not 100% tolerate. And basically your food is again passing too fast through your digestive tract. But again, then we have the kind of point that people want to bring up about like, yeah, maybe it's caused by orange foods. Well, if the food that you're not tolerating is orange, then yes. The answer is your stool could be orange because of an orange food, but is it orange because your bile has not been properly oxidized or because there are really still those yellow-orange parts in it? I don't 100% know that. I guess that kind of depends on the case. But note, if there is still orange or yellow parts in your stool, it basically means that the beta carotene, which by the way turns into vitamin A inside of your body, is just not really being absorbed. So for some reason your body could not absorb it, either because you have a digestive system dysfunction or because your body doesn't want it. It's kind of complex and I don't want to overwhelm you. But in most cases this is really, really simple. Cut out the supplements and figure out what foods specifically are causing this. It could of course be that you have an infection or you're in a foreign country and you've been consuming tap water or some kind of food, but then usually it will go away after a few days, naturally. Now, if you just made a diet change, then it's also very simple. I would say go back to your old diet because for some kind of reason, your current diet is not really working out. Of course, it could be just that you're doing it wrong, but if this keeps happening, you're right, watching this video, you probably realize this is not a normal thing and I should not have that. Yeah, it's very simple. Your stool's supposed to look brown. Now, one thing I want to mention, there are those people out there that want to tell you that, every chronic disease is basically caused by like a liver dysfunction and, vitamin A is toxic and this and that, and it accumulates. And then they tell you to take like large amounts of zinc, or at least as part of their protocols. And then they tell you like, oh, your food is, your stool is yellow because vitamin A is yellow, you're detoxing it via like bile release. And for the most part, everything that I heard about that, it doesn't really make much sense. You see, we're just back to the same story. You might just be taking too much zinc and that's causing you to have indigestion. I don't really think that this is usually caused by you getting rid of a ton of vitamin A. This is kind of special. You might not even understand this, know this, then it's just not important for you. But in case there's been anyone that saw this, watched this, I don't know, I don't see there being that much science to it. So key takeaways: cut out your supplements, change your diet in that way that it's needed. And if you're realizing it's still not going away, then you can also reach out to me. I've helped other people get rid of their digestive issues. I fixed my own digestive issues. And in case you don't know me yet that well, you can just subscribe to the channel and check out some of my other videos to get to know me better. And maybe there are some tips in some of my other videos about digestive issues that are going to help you fix this issue. Anyways, I wish you good luck and a good day.